Hello, new students. Welcome to Longwood. My name is Jean Wilwa. I'm the Senior Director of the Residential and Commuter Life Office here at Longwood. I'm so excited that you've decided to come to Longwood for this fall. It's a wonderful place. I've been working here for 16 years, and I think you're going to find that it is a very welcoming and supportive environment. And so I'm very excited that you're going to be starting your journey here at Longwood. What I wanted to do this morning is just to give you a little bit of information about what it's like living on campus, and of course, let you know the important information about when you'll register for housing, because I know that's really something that's important to students and families. So first, welcome home. Like I said, we're very excited that you're here, and we'll be here on campus very shortly in the fall semester. So welcome, welcome, welcome. We are here to help. So our office employs a very large staff that's here to support you in your transition coming to school. As I mentioned earlier, my name is Jean Will. I'm the Senior Director. I also have some other support staff members here in our office. We have assistant and associate directors that you'll find here in our central office in Eason Hall. And then we have full-time residence education coordinators who live in each of the apartment communities and residence halls, and they work most directly with our students. So they are the people that are going to supervise our student staff that we have helping you out in the residence halls, and their office and home will be within the community that you're living in. So we do have a large student staff that are here to help you along your way. So within the residence halls, each floor will have a resident assistant. And then in the apartment communities, we also have resident assistants that are there to help our students as well. We also employ commuter assistants. These are people that will work out of our commuter lounge located in Upchurch on the second floor to provide resources and programs to support our commuter students. We also employ a large desk aid staff. You'll notice as you walk into the residence halls and also in our apartment communities that we have a front desk that's a resource desk for students. They help monitor who's going in and out of the building, answer questions for students, a friendly face as you walk into the building as well. So just know that there are a lot of people here that care about our students and want to help students. And it's also an opportunity later on in your Longwood experience. If you're interested in working in one of these positions, it's a great opportunity as well. So I know, who wants to talk about policies? But I got a couple of important ones just to go over with you. So you might have said, I'm going to Longwood, I'm ready to party. Here's the funny thing. In the United States, the legal drinking age is 21. I know, isn't that crazy? And Virginia is located in the United States. I know, that's just going to blow your mind. You know what's even crazier? Farmville is located in Virginia. So in all seriousness, we have tons of events and free things for students happening on campus and in the local community. There is never a shortage of things to do that don't involve alcohol. We just don't want to see people get into trouble. So just know at Longwood, we do enforce the legal drinking age of 21. Other things you may notice walking around campus is that we do have designated smoking areas. Obviously, you know the law in Virginia, you must be 21 to use tobacco or nicotine products. If you are 21, we do have designated smoking areas on campus. They look like little bus stops, so they're enclosed for people. So if there's bad weather or rain, you're able to still use that. There is no smoking or use of tobacco or nicotine products in any building on campus, and that includes the residence halls and the apartment community. So just want to make sure you're aware of that. Yay, more policies. Get excited. Woohoo! So just wanted to talk briefly about renter's insurance. This is not required. However, we do encourage families to consider having renter's insurance for your student while they're at school. Similar to your own home, the unexpected things could happen. So for instance, let's say somebody was not following the rules and they were throwing a baseball in the hallway, and that baseball happened to hit a sprinkler head, and that causes water to start coming out everywhere. And let's say you left your laptop on the floor in your room and the water got to the laptop and it broke your laptop. So the way for you to recover financially for that laptop would be through your own renter's insurance policy. The university is going to handle anything facilities wise. We'll fix that sprinkler head. We'll clean up that water. We'll do whatever we need to do to restore the facility. But any personal belongings would go through your renter's insurance. Now, some homeowners policies will cover a student while they're at school for renter's insurance. So that's just something that you want to check with the policy that your family has to see if it's covered. If it's not, it typically isn't that much money to add renter's insurance. So it's just something that we do recommend for students. Woo, we made it. We got through all those policies. Yay! So next, I want to talk about something that I think is probably the thing that's probably of the most interest to you right now, which is when do you fill out a housing application for next year, and when are you going to find out where you're going to be living? So applications will become available April 2nd, and they're due by June 6th. So we make the application available early because we know there's some eager people that just want to get it completed, and that's totally fine. But we don't start assigning students to housing until we've collected all of the housing applications. So nobody will get assigned to housing prior to June 6th. So it's not a first come, first served basis. We get all the housing applications in, we see what students are requesting, and then we work to make as many students as happy as possible with their assignments. What I will tell you is I've been at Longwood for 16 years. And in a typical year, about 97 to 98% of the new students will be placed in their first or second building choice. There will be a very small number that we're unable to get you in your first or second, and maybe we have to go to your third choice. But most students will get into their first or second choice. We work very hard to make that happen. But just know that you will get an email to your Longwood email account and your personal email account with instructions on how to fill out the housing application. We will start doing that April 2nd as students have deposited, and we will continue to send out those notifications to students as they've deposited to enroll. So just check your email account. As a courtesy, we do send it to your personal email account on file and your Longwood email account. But just to talk about the housing application itself, you're going to have an opportunity to submit preferences for building. Roommate, if you have a specific roommate request, you can request one another, or you can fill out our roommate matching survey to be paired with another student. You'll also pick your meal plan at that time as well. So what are your options for housing? So first year students will have the option to preference Johns Hall, Moss Hall, Register Hall, Sharp Hall, and Wheeler Hall. Although Wheeler Hall will first, those spaces are reserved for students that are participating in the Cormier Honors College. But if there is any space that is not selected by the Cormier Honors College, those spaces will be available to other students as well. All of our housing is suite style, so meaning it's the typical setup is 2 double rooms that share a bathroom. There are a limited number of 3-bedroom suites in some of the buildings that we have available as well. That's your typical setup is your 2-bedroom suite. Sometimes it'll be a 3-bedroom suite, and then there'll be the bathroom that you share. Everything is air conditioned. Halls are co-ed by suite, which means that the entire suite is all one gender. But you may have a floor that's got 7 female suites and 3 male suites on the floor. We do reserve a couple floors in Johns and Moss Hall that are all female floors, so that if there is somebody, a student that prefers all female living, that everybody on the floor is female, they can preference that on their housing application and they would get assigned to that location. But we will have other co-ed floors in Johns and Moss as well. We just reserved 1 floor in Johns and 1 in Moss to be an all-female floor. The other thing to know is that you can view virtual tours of all of our housing options, both on our website and also in the Student Housing Gateway, which is where you go to register for housing. So if you're an upperclassman student, what are your options, or a transfer student? So transfer students can live in many of those locations I just talked about: Johns, Moss, Register, Sharp. Stubbs Hall is an upperclassman all-female residence hall, plus the apartment community. So transfer students coming in are eligible to live in Lancer Park or the Landings if you prefer apartment living versus residence hall living. And then as a new freshman, your first year you would live in the residence halls, but after your first year you would be eligible to live in Lancer Park or the Landings. So let's talk about mutual roommate requests. As I mentioned earlier, you can submit a mutual roommate request on your housing application. So if you have a friend that you've either met through social media that's coming to Longwood, or somebody maybe from your hometown, and the two of you want to room together, all you need to do is indicate on your housing application that you all both want to room with one another. We will house you together. We guarantee that if you request one another, we'll put you together. I have this little image up here because sometimes your best friend from home may not be the best person to be your roommate, because you're already going to be spending a lot of time with that person. So sometimes people can make great friends, but maybe they're not the best roommates. So we just ask you to think about that before you put those requests in. But if you request one another, we will honor those requests. We will also honor suite mate requests. Suite mates are the people that will share the bathroom with you. So if you find other students that are coming to Longwood and you have decided you all want to be suite mates as well, you can request that on your housing application, and we will honor those requests as well. So what happens after you fill out your housing application? Well, there's me as Kermit feverishly working to get your housing assignments out to you. And there's you. Very excited that you're going to receive that information by June 30th. And that information will be sent to your Longwood email account. Along with receiving that information, yay, we get excited. Woo, we got our housing assignments. The other piece of information that you will receive with your housing assignment is move-in information. So we break new student move-in into 2 days. August 20th and 21st, it's a Wednesday and a Thursday. And that is to alleviate traffic on campus and lines for elevators. So your day and time to move in will be based upon your housing assignment. So when you receive that email with your housing assignment information, part of the information you're going to receive is about your move-in date and time. So very important to share that information with the people that will be helping you move in. If for some reason your family has a conflict with that date and time, whether it's a parent's work schedule, something like that, just reach out to our office. We can work with you to adjust your date and time for move-in. Other things that are important to know is that when moving in, it's going to be hot. It's August, okay? And sometimes you think you need to bring everything you own. So one thing that I will promise you is that while you're away at school, your family is not going to sell all of your personal belongings on eBay. You're going to see them again. You will see your personal items again. And the other thing is, it's not going to snow in Farmville until the winter. So, you probably don't need to bring all your winter clothes with you when you move in. So just think about what you're bringing and whether it's something you believe you are going to use in those first few months or not. Because it is a lot to move in when it's 90 some degrees out and it's very humid. So just think about what you're bringing and don't try and overstuff the room too much. The rooms are spacious, but you'll be surprised how quickly you fill it up if you bring everything you own from home. Other things that are important is in the residence halls, the beds are twin extra long. So you want to make sure you buy those extra long sheets so you're not struggle bus like this woman here. So you're going to want to leave the tall refrigerator that your family has in the kitchen at home. You're not going to want to bring that one with you. But you can bring a 4.6 cubic feet or smaller mini fridge with you. Both roommates can bring them if they want to. We don't have any restrictions on that, so that's totally fine. Both roommates can bring a microwave if they want to as well. Not an issue at all. We also have a microfridge rental program. So if you're a student that doesn't want to, bring a fridge yourself from home and you want the convenience of the fridge already being set up in your room, plugged in, cool, for your drinks and everything, there is a rental program, and we'll provide information to students about that when they receive their housing notification. Other things just wanted to mention is some move-in reminders. So there's a list on our website of items that you're not allowed to bring to campus. There's also a list of things we recommend bringing to campus. And then there's a list of things you can bring. So just wanted to bring this up. So you can have extension cord as long as it's a surge protected extension cord. So you want to make sure it's the one with the strip with the little on off button. That one's fine. The ones that don't have that can be a fire hazard, so they're not allowed. You can't have George Foreman grills in your room or air fryers. Toaster ovens, can't have those in your room, so leave those at home. Candles, you can't have candles. Even if you triple pinky swear, Jean, I'm not going to light the candle. It's the most decorative candle ever. You can't have it. It's against fire safety regulations. You also can't have the plug-in air fresheners because people oftentimes forget about them and they dry out, and that can become a fire hazard. You can bring a lamp, but don't bring those cheap lamps that you find in the college section where it has that cheap plastic around it. Because often what happens is that people put bulbs in there of too high of a wattage, and it will melt the plastic. So those type of lamps we don't allow. A regular standard lamp would be fine. You will have overhead lighting in your room, but if you want a lamp for late night reading or something like that, you can certainly bring that. Just stay away from those cheap ones with the cheap plastic around them. Other things are you can have a fish. So we do allow you to have a fish in a bowl and some water. All three things are important. You need fish, water, and bowl. Okay. That's totally fine. You can bring that. This little guy you can't bring because he can live in the fish bowl, but he can also live on land. So he would be a no-no. And it needs to be a toothless fish. So we don't want anybody losing a finger or anything like that. Toothless fish, fine. Okay, so the average person might think this is just a fish out of the water. Jean said, put that back into the bowl. But our staff is smart enough to know that that is a dog dressed as a fish. So leave your puppy at home. You'll be happier with your family. If you want a little pet, you can have a fish in a bowl. That's totally fine. So as I mentioned earlier, we do have resources for commuter students. That commuter lounge is located in Upchurch University Center on the second floor. It's a nice place to hang out in between classes. We have resources there for you. We have a fridge, microwave. So if you're bringing your lunch, there's also some lockers that students can sign out. So if you're a commuter student, try and check out that area within the first couple weeks. A lot of commuter students will hang out in between classes. So it's a nice way to meet some other students as well. If you have questions, feel free to contact the Residential and Commuter Life Office. We can be reached from 8:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. weekdays. We are really great at answering emails really quickly. So if you email us at housing@longwood.edu, we'll get back to you very quickly. You can also give us a call at 434-395-2080. And if you're ever on campus, come visit us. We're on the ground floor in Eason Hall. And there is our website address where you can find those virtual tours I talked about earlier. And also a lot of FAQs to answer a lot of questions that you might have. You can also contact me directly. When you call our main line, the people that answer the phones are great. They can answer almost every question. But if you want to talk directly to me, I am totally open to that. Feel free to reach out to me. This is my direct contact information. This is my email and my phone number. Feel free to reach out to me. I'm always glad to answer any questions that you have. Welcome to Longwood, and I will be reaching out to you again soon once the housing application opens to send you information about registering for housing. So if you have any questions between now and then, feel free to give us a call. We're always glad to talk with students and families. And go Wood!